Well, hello again and thanks for joining us. Welcome to the 27th Cumbria Classic Nostalgia Scramble here at Holme Farm. Well, thanks for joining me once again and welcome back to part 2 of the racing highlights from the 2017 Kendal Classic Nostalgia Scramble. Now this of course is the 27th running of this fantastic event held at Holme Farm in Sedbergh in Cumbria. Okay, we're going to get things underway with the Twin Shock B class race. We had some fantastic racing from these guys in their first moto, so we're just waiting on the starter giving the riders the okay. Looks like we're good to go once again. As the riders leave the line, it's another good start from number 15. That's Jim Grieve on the 490 Michael. It looks like Daniel Luke has made an excellent start as well on that little Suzuki. Daniel Luke, in fact, is now your race leader with Jim Grieve second. Steve Moore going through there and Andy Malik on the Montesa. But as we look to the far side of the track, it is now Jim Grieve who is your race leader, number 15 on that Michael only 490 S1. Daniel Luke is in second position. And of course the track conditions at this point absolutely superb for this 27th annual Nostalgia Scramble. Okay, there is your race leaders. Number 15 Jim Grieve. Second position is still Daniel Luke on the Suzuki. Third place looks like Nigel Sowerby, number 93 on that 490 Michael. As the rest of the riders make their way round on the second Twin Shock B class race. Number 96 there is Michael Easton on the Suzuki. But here is your race leader, it's Jim Grieve on the S1 490 Michael. Second position is Nigel Sowerby, number 93, also riding 490 Michael. But here is your race leader, number 15, Jim Grieve from Scotland. Second, Nigel Sowerby, number 93. Daniel Luke is still in there on that very quick little Suzuki, looking to make a move on second place man Nigel Sowerby. Some very quick riders in this Twin Shock B class race. And so as the remainder of the chasing pack make their way round, number 43 is Andy Malik, number 47 there is Steve Moore on the 490 Michael. But here is your race leader, it is still number 15 Jim Grieve on the Michael only S1 490. Second position now looks like it's Daniel Luke on that very quick little Suzuki, who has passed Nigel Sowerby into second position. Very quick little machine this. Looks to me like 1981 125. Certainly sounds like it. So as the rest of the chasing pack make their way through, Andy Malik going through on that very quick Montesa again, Peter Williamson going through, number 96 there, that's Michael Easton on the Suzuki. And so as our race leader comes round to start his last and final lap of this Twin Shock B-Class race, it's number 15, Jim Grieve, your race leader. Second is still Daniel Luke on that little RM125 water-cooled Suzuki. Well, looks like Paul Armour has had a bit of a fall there on his lovely Montesa Capra. Very rare bike to see racing on these vintage racetracks these days. But there is your race leader heading towards the checkered flag for his second win of the day. It's number 15, Jim Grieve. Second position is going to go to Daniel Luke on his little Suzuki. Okay, next we're going to move up to the last of the Twin Shock grade classes. This of course is the Twin Shock C class. Had some good racing from these guys in their previous moto. Another excellent lineup of bikes at this 27th Nostalgia Scramble. So we're just waiting on the starter getting in position. The engage gear board is up and they leave the line. It looks like Jimmy Aird has made another fantastic start again. Jimmy Aird on that CCM is your race leader. Number 40 going through is Alan Hambridge, who did really well in that first Twin Shock C class race. In fact, I'm sure Alan won that first Twin Shock C class race. So as the rest of the riders make their way into the infield of the track, it's still number 7, ex-CCM Works rider Jimmy Aird, who is your race leader. Now Jimmy of course is nicknamed the Crab because of his over-the-bars riding style on his bike. And Jimmy of course also the owner of the big franchise of Scott Leathers. So as the rest of the pack make their way round, number 29 there is Gary Wolstenholme going through, Bill Brown going through. Some very quick riders in this Twin Shock C class race. Although it looks like we've got a new race leader. Number 99 there is Chris Airy on the YZ Yamaha. Jimmy Aird is in second position. Jimmy Aird now in fact your race leader once again, as he heads up the Nostalgia Hill. Jimmy of course has been riding these CCM bikes for many years, and a fantastic rider on these Alan Clues machines. So there is your race leader. It's number 7, Jimmy Aird. Second is number 40, that's Alan Hambridge on the 250 Honda Red Rocket. Try and pick up some more of these riders for you. Number 153, that is Andrew Savage, also riding a CCM. Number 29 is Gary Wolstenholme. Bill Brown of course going through with his old mate behind him, Maurice Wharton. Number 121, who's come to a standstill there, is Curtis Rain. But it looks like your new race leader is Alan Hambridge on the Honda, with Jimmy Aird on the CCM in second position. And so it's Alan Hambridge on the Honda Red Rocket leads number 7, Jimmy Aird. on the CCM. Looks like Jimmy's looking to try and get his pole position back once more. So it's a little Japanese two-stroke bike versus the British-made Alan Clues BSA-derived CCM. So it's your race leader, number 40, Alan Hambridge. Second position is Jimmy Aird, number 7 on the CCM. An absolutely superb day for classic racing here at Holme Farm, as Jimmy Aird now retakes the lead from Alan Hambridge, who is now in second. So your race leader now is Jimmy Aird, number 7 leads Alan Hambridge, number 40. Of course, it's thanks to the landowners, Mr. and Mrs. David Metcalf, who give us this lovely racetrack each and every year to hold this annual Nostalgia Scramble. So the club thanks Mr. and Mrs. Metcalf for their time and generosity for letting us use this beautiful piece of ground. But there is your race leader. It's number 7, Jimmy Aird leads number 40, Alan Hambridge, in second position. And so as our two race leaders start their last and final lap in this second Twin Shock C-Class race, it's still Jimmy Aird, number 7, leads Alan Hambridge, number 40, on the 250 Honda. Number 29 coming through is Gary Wolstenholme. Mike Dobie going through, number 27. Number 1 there is Gary Cardinal on the Suzuki. But as they head towards the checkered flag, it's number 7, Jimmy Aird on the CCM, who is your race leader. It's still Alan Hambridge on the Honda in second. But it looks like it's going to be a win for Jimmy Aird on the CCM as they cross the start and finish line. So it's a win for number 7, Jimmy Aird, with Alan Hambridge in second. Okay, next up we are back to the Pre-60 Unlimited, Pre-68 up to 350cc, and the Pre-75 up to 250. Another excellent lineup of bikes as we wait for the starter to get into position. The engaged gear board is up. That's a good start from Peter Hollinshead on the SRM BSA as he gets the whole shot into turn 1. It looks like Lewis Bell is in second position, number 9. Number 5 there is Vince Hale in third position. But as the front runners make their way around on this first lap, it looks like Peter Hollinshead on that very quick SRM BSA leads number 9, Lewis Bell, who is riding his Tribsa. So it's 454, Peter Hollinshead on the BSA in first position, second number 9 on the Tribsa, Lewis Bell, third is Vince Hale. As the rest of the riders make their way around on lap 1. Stuart Riddle there going through on the Twin Port CZ. Looks like Andrew King has had a bad start this time round. Andrew King, of course, won that first race. It looks like Andrew's had some kind of troubles on the track, and he is well down the pack in this race. But there is your race leader. It's number 454. It's Peter Hollinshead on the SRM BSA, followed by number 9, Lewis Bell on the Tribsa. That, of course, is the BSA frame with the Triumph engine But here is your race leader. It's still Peter Hollinshead, riding superbly on the big SRM BSA. Still Lewis Bell in second position, as our two front runners come up to cross the start and finish line. But your race leader is still Peter Hollinshead. Second is still Lewis Bell. Lewis Bell trying to get close to Peter Hollinshead's BSA, but finding it a bit difficult. That is Derek McCauley going through on the Old Tackle Pursang. Number 5 is Vince Hale coming through. 146 going through. I think that could be Joe Chell. Number 717 is Stephen Jackson. And number 37 is David Holt. But as we look back to our race leaders, it's still Peter Hollinshead on the BSA leads Lewis Bell on the Tripsa. But Lewis Bell looks like he's getting a bit closer now to make that challenge for the first position. A lovely sound out of these old 4-stroke machines. But it's Pete Hollinshead who is still your race leader, but Lewis Bell tries to make a move down the inside but can't make it stick. So it's still Peter Hollinshead, your race leader, from number 9, Lewis Bell. But it looks like we could have a good race developing here for towards the end of this moto. It's still Peter Hollinshead who's trying to hold off the advances of number 9 Lewis Bell on the Tripsa. Peter riding at very heavy SRM BSA, but doesn't seem to be phasing him one bit. It's still a very quick old motorcycle. Lewis Bell making a dive on the inside again, but can't make it stick. It's still your race leader is Peter Hollinshead on the BSA. Lewis Bell trying to turn every which way to get down the inside of Peter's machine. So as you head across the start and finish line for the last lap of this combined race, it looks like Lewis Bell is trying to go round the outside, but Peter keeps a tight line inside, but Lewis Bell looks like he's going to make it stick this time round. So your new race leader is Lewis Bell. It looks like Lewis has dropped his bike. Lewis had just taken the lead of this race and he seems to have dropped his bike on one of the corners, so there is your race leader once again. It's number 454, Peter Hollinshead. So as our race leader heads towards the checkered flag, it looks like it's going to be a win for Peter Hollinshead, who has done superbly to keep Lewis Bell behind him throughout this race, although Lewis has had some form of spell on one of the corners and dropped his machine, but it's going to be a well-deserved win for number 454, Peter Hollinshead. It looks like Derek McCauley is going to come through there in second position. So it's a well-deserved win for 454, Pete Hollinshead. Okay, our next race, of course, is the pre-68 over 350cc class, and I do apologise for not capturing the start of this race, but even a photographer has to go for a leak sometimes. And so as we try and pick up our race leader, it looks like it's Travis Oliver who is our race leader. So your race leader is Travis Oliver. Second position is John Griffiths, and third is Liston Bell. Fourth position is Adrian Lappin, also riding one of those 600cc Japs. So a very good race developing between these first three riders. So it's still Travis Oliver, your race leader, from John Griffiths in second. Liston Bell is in third as he tries to make a move on John Griffiths and collides with the side of John Griffiths' machine. Liston was trying to make a move and it looked like John got crossed up coming out of the corner, and Liston unfortunately drove unintentionally, of course, into the side, but hopefully Liston will get his bike fired up again and get back chasing the rest of the pack. But there is your race leader. It's Travis Oliver leads number 33 John Griffiths on those Cecil Pearson Japs. And so as we look to pick up our race leader, it looks like it's still Travis Oliver, your race leader, from number 33 John Griffiths, and in third it's still Adrian Lappin. So we still have Cecil Pearson's Japs in positions 1, 2 and 3, but it looks like Liston Bell has got his machine restarted and is already starting to carve his way through the back markers. But your race leader is still number 313, that's Travis Oliver on that Cecil Pearson Jap. Of course, this is just one of the 6 machines that Cecil brought along to the 27th annual Nostalgia Scramble. Fantastic set of old-fashioned dirt racers, these bikes. These engines, of course, were originally designed for speedway use, and you can see that Cecil's riders are putting them to very good use on this Holme Farm racetrack. Methanol fueled, of course. These bikes don't run on regular gas. They were always designed to run on methanol, were never designed to run on regular gas. But here is your race leader. It's still Travis Oliver. Second is still John Griffiths, with Adrian Lappin in third position. So as they head towards the start and finish line once more, it's still Travis Oliver, your race leader, from John Griffiths. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a very unique collection of Rickman Jap machines, this lovely collection of bikes from Cecil Pearson. A very unique collection, and I don't think there is many people in the country who have 6 of these beautiful 4-stroke machines in their workshop. And in fact, Cecil has just added another 7th machine to his collection, but it is a Cecil Pearson special with a frame built by Harry Stitt, with a Jap engine, of course, in the frame. But here is your race leader. It's still Travis Oliver, who has led this race from the drop off the start gate. John Griffiths moving in second position. But it's going to be a win for Travis Oliver from John Griffiths in second position, and Adrian Lappin in third. So it's Cecil Pearson's Japs 1, 2 and 3. And so as the rest of the pack make their way across the line, number 501 there, that is Philip Whittam's lovely 1967 Cotton Triumph, beautiful sounding machine. So as the rest of the riders, number 70 there, that is Martin Stitt, father of Harry. Okay, we're moving right along to the pre-75 over 250 and pre-78 unlimited class. Another completely full gate of riders for this event. The engaged gear board is up. As they leave the line, it's quite a good start from John Fleming there, number 10, but Trevor Calderwood has made the turn and took the whole shot, so it's number 32 Trevor Calderwood first, second John Fleming, third looks like Jonathan Bethel on the CCM. As the riders make their way to start the first lap of this combined race. So there is your race leader. It is still number 32 from Newtonards in Northern Ireland. It's Trevor Calderwood on that very quick CZ, or CZ, sorry if you're watching in the United States. Second position is John Fleming. Third is Jonathan Bethel. Number 56 there, looks like it's Tony Barnes going through. Number 86 is Rod Spry, the famous bike builder. And coming through there, number 127, that's Chris Spry, Rod's brother, of course. So as we look towards our race leader, it is still Trevor Calderwood, who is showing the rest of the chasing pack a clean pair of heels, but John Fleming is still there in second place, being challenged by Tony Barnes, number 56. Tony Barnes trying to go round the outside on the CCM. John Fleming still holding on to that second position. Tony Barnes trying to go round the outside, but still, I was going to say still can't make it stick, but Tony Barnes is now your second place position rider. So it's still Trevor Calderwood, number 32, Tony Barnes, number 56, John Fleming, number 10, number 44 is Jonathan Bethel, number 264 is Chris Chell. Just behind Chris Chell there, number 55, that's Keith Barnes. But your race leader is still number 32 from Northern Ireland, it's Trevor Calderwood. Chris Chell going through there, number 264. Keith Barnes, number 55, riding that absolutely beautiful Clues Stroker. So a fantastic race developing for this third position between Chris Chell, John Fleming and Jonathan Bethel, but it looks like Chris Chell is moved up into that third position on the Shenny BSA. Jonathan Bethel is fourth, John Fleming is fifth. As we look at Chris Chell, Jonathan Bethel is number 44, John Fleming is number 10. And so as we pick up our race leader, it's still Trevor Calderwood being hounded by number 56, that's Tony Barnes on the CCM, who now takes the lead of this race. So it's number 56, Tony Barnes, your race leader, from Trevor Calderwood from Northern Ireland on the CZ in second position. Trevor did really well in the first moto in this class and led most of the race, but eventually finished, I think it was third or fourth. But here is your race leader, number 56, Tony Barnes, on that Alan Clues 500cc CCM. And so it's Tony Barnes, your race leader. Second is still Trevor Calderwood. Third is Chris Chell, number 264. Chris doing superbly on that lovely BSA. Next up it's Jonathan Bethel, number 44. Number 10 is John Fleming on that 1971 very tricked up CZ. But there is your race leader, number 56, Tony Barnes, on that CCM. These Alan Clues 4-stroke BSA derived machines are very quick bikes if you get the right rider on board one of these machines. And so as our race leader starts his last and final lap, it's still Tony Barnes, number 56, on the CCM, who is your race leader. Second position is still number 32, Trevor Calderwood, on the CZ. Third is still Chris Chell, but it looks like it's going to be a win for Tony Barnes on the CCM. Trevor Calderwood is going to take a well-deserved second place in this race, with Chris Chell in third. Okay, next up we are back to the Clubman class. As the riders leave the line, it's another good start by John Fullerton on the 540 4-stroke Yamaha. As the rest of the riders make their way through, number 4 there is Jack Doby riding his Triumph Métis. Number 15 is Fraser Dykes. So as we pick up our race leader, it looks like it's number 139. I'm sure that is Dave Godley on the Honda Elsinore. John Fullerton is in second position. And so a race leader looks like it's still number 139. I'm sure that's Dave Godley, although this rider is not listed in the programme. Second is still John Fullerton. Number 191 looks like it's David Bateson on the Maiko, who is your third position rider. David trying to make a move on second place man John Fullerton. But it looks like Dave Godley is starting to stretch a bit of a gap between the second place man, which is now David Bateson on the Maiko. And so it's Dave Godley, your race leader. Second is 191 David Bateson on the 250 Maiko. Third is John Fullerton on the 540 4-stroke Yamaha. Fraser Dykes is in fourth place on the BSA. But here is your second place rider. This is number 191. That's David Bateson on the what looks like a 1974 or 75 250 Maiko. David riding very well on this old vintage German machine. John Fullerton is still in third with Fraser Dykes in fourth. But here is your race leader. It's Dave Godley, who is actually registered in the programme as riding a BSA, but of course we can all see that this is not a BSA. It's a little looks like a CR250 Honda Elsinore. Second position is still David Bateson on the Maiko, with John Fullerton in third. So this is the scrap for third position between number 173 John Fullerton and number 15, that's Fraser Dykes on the BSA, who goes down the inside. Fraser, of course, the owner of the AMD plant machinery company, But there is your race leader. It's still number 39, Dave Godley, who has more or less led this race from the start. Second is still David Bateson on the 250 Michael. And so as your race leader crosses the start and finish line to begin his last and final lap in this Clubman class race, it's still number 39, Dave Godley on the Little Elsinore. Second is 191. It's David Bateson on the 250 Michael. Fraser Dykes is still in there in third position. As you can see, track conditions absolutely perfect at this point in the proceedings. So there is your race leader coming round to take the win in this Clubman class race. It's number 139. It's a win for Dave Godley on the little Honda Elsinore. Okay, next up we are back to the big boys in the Twin Shock A class. This of course is their third race of the day. Now we had a win for Mark Fulton in race 1 and a win for Jamie Law in race 2. So as they leave the line, it's a good start by Barry Turnbull, number 10, who takes the whole shot into turn 1. So it's Barry Turnbull, number 10, in first position. Mark Fulton is in second. Jamie Law is in third. As the rest of the chasing pack head round to start lap 1. We have a faller in one of the turns there. And so as we pick up our race leader, it's number 10, Barry Turnbull, who is your race leader on that very quick 500cc Honda. Second position is Mark Fulton, number 48. Third is Jamie Law. Fourth is Alan Bott. Fifth is Pete Mathia. Sixth is Paul Chiappa. Chris Cannon, number 81, going through there. Number 18 coming through is Jim Colligan. But as we pick up our race front runners, it's still Barry Turnbull from Mark Fulton in second position. Jamie Law, number 25, is in third. Jamie, of course, won the second Twin Shock A moto of the day. Jamie riding superbly on that JR Racing 500 Honda. But here is your race leader. It's Barry Turnbull, number 10. Second is still Mark Fulton. Third is Jamie Law, number 25. And you can just hear Jem Parker in the background urging his team riders to catch the rider in front, or at least try. So it's still Barry Turnbull from number 48 there. That's Mark Fulton in second. Jamie Law is closing in on Mark Fulton. Looks like Jamie Law is going to try and make a move for that second position. Takes the inside line. Mark Fulton goes wide. So it's Jamie Law, now your second place position rider. Mark Fulton has dropped back to third. These Twin Shock A-class riders putting in some very quick laps here at this 27th annual Nostalgia Scramble. So your race leader is still Barry Turnbull, number 10. Second is Jamie Law. Third there, as we're looking at, is number 48, Mark Fulton, on the Stuart Bland constructed 500 Honda. But there is your race leader. It's Barry Turnbull, who has a very substantial lead on second place position man Mark Fulton. So as we look at our race leader number 10, Barry Turnbull, as he heads up the hill at this superb amphitheatre Holme Farm racetrack. Second position is still Jamie Law, number 25, and Mark Fulton is now down to third. So Jim Parker's JR Racing team seem to have bikes in positions 1 and 2 in this Twin Shock A class race. So it's still Barry Turnbull leads, number 25, Jamie Law. Third position is Mark Fulton. As we wait for a fourth position rider coming through, which is still number 74, Alan Bott. Pete Mathia there, number 0, is in fifth position. Paul Chiappa coming through, number 11. Craig Smith there, number 25. But your race leader is still number 10. It's Barry Turnbull on the JR Racing 500 Honda. Barry, of course, has led this race right from the drop of the start gate and has a substantial lead on second place man. That's Jamie Law, number 25. Mark Fulton is still in there, number 48, in third position. Alan Bott is still fourth. Pete Mathia there, number 0, is still fifth. But it's a win for Barry Turnbull in first position. Second is Jamie Law, third is Mark Fulton, and fourth is Alan Bott. Okay, next up, of course, is the Twin Shock B class. As the riders leave the line. Looks like another good start by Nigel Sowerby on that 490 Michael. Looks like everybody is safely around turn 1. So as we look to pick up a race leader, it looks like Daniel Luke is your early race leader. Jim Grieve, who won that last Twin Shock B class race, is down in about fourth position at this point. So as our race leaders head round to complete lap 1, it looks like Daniel Luke on that RM125 Suzuki is your race leader. Jim Grieve, who has just passed Daniel Luke for the lead, so it's Jim Grieve, your race leader, from number 93. That looks like Nigel Sowerby as they cross the line to complete lap 1. So it's number 15, Jim Grieve, your race leader, from number 93, Nigel Sowerby. So it's Jim Grieve on the Michael, your race leader, from number 93, Nigel Sowerby, also on a Michael. Number 156 is David Bateman on the 4-stroke XR Honda. Number 45 there is Alan Hardy. If you may remember, Alan had a nasty fall in the last Twin Shock B class race, but it looks like he's up and running once more. But there is your race leader, Jim Grieve, number 15 on the Michael only S1 490. Jim Grieve, of course, did well in the first 2 motos at this 27th annual Nostalgia Scramble, and as you can see, is laying down his mark in this third Twin Shock B class race by leading almost from the start line. So there is your race leader, number 15, Jim Grieve. Second position should still be Nigel Sowerby. Third position is David Bateman on that XR Honda. Number 2 there is Peter Williamson going through. Number 45 is of course Carol Kavanagh, who raced that little DT 125 to success in a previous race. Andy Malach, number 43, going through there on the 414 Montesa Capra. But it's still number 15, Jim Grieve, your race leader on the 490 Maiko. As you can see, we've been very blessed with the good weather here at the Nostalgia Scramble for 2017. We have had some very wet meetings at this track in the past, but thankfully this weekend the weather is superb. There is your second place rider, number 93, Nigel Sowerby. David Bateman, 156, is in third. Number 2, Peter Williamson, is in fourth. There is Carol Kavanagh going through on a YZ Yamaha. So we're looking at second placed rider number 93, that's Nigel Sowerby. Now Nigel, of course, is just one of the many Sowerby family who race these bikes, and in fact we have Shane and Gary also racing at this Nostalgia Scramble this year, so certainly a family affair for the Sowerby boys. So it's still Jim Grieve, your race leader, from this man here, number 93, Nigel Sowerby, in second. Peter Williamson has now moved up into third position. And so as we look towards the far side of the track to pick up our race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for number 15. That's Jim Grieve. And second place is going to go to Nigel Sowerby. Okay, our last race in this part 2 video from the 2017 Nostalgia Scramble is the Twin Shock C-Class. Now, looks like an excellent start once again from Jimmy Aird on that CCM. Remember, Jimmy drove superbly in the last moto. Callum Sangster is coming through there in second spot. As the remaining riders make their way through to begin lap 1. Everybody seems to have safely negotiated the turn, and it looks like Jimmy Aird is already opened up a gap on the chasing pack. So there is your race leader, number 7, Jimmy Aird on the CCM. Second position coming through is Callum Sangster on the 250 Michael. Mike Doby going through there in third position. Number 29 is Gary Wolstenholme. Number 23 or 231 is Maurice Wharton. Number 199 going through is Steve Parkins. And so as we look to pick up our race leader, this is the battle for second position between number 222 Callum Sangster on the 1981 250 Michael. Jimmy Aird, of course, is still your race leader as he just moves out of shot. Mike Doby is now down to fourth position. But here is your second position rider, it's Callum Sangster on the 81 250 Michael. So it looks like it's still Jimmy Aird, number 7 on the Clues CCM, coming through there is number 36. That's Jan Estelle on the Suzuki. Number 94 is David Lamb on the Michael. Number 40, of course, is Alan Hambridge. Maurice Wharton going through there, number 231 or 23. Seems to have a combination of different numbers on his bike there. But here is your race leader. It's the Scott Leathers owner, Jimmy Aird, on that very quick CCM. Jimmy, of course, is one of the works riders who used to ride for the CCM motorcycle company back in the day. And as you can see, Jimmy has never lost any of the skill and speed he had back in the day. So there is your race leader of this Twin Shock C-Class race. It's number 7, Jimmy Aird. Second now is Mike Doby, number 271 on the CR250 Honda. Third position going through there is Gary Wolstenholme on that ASR Honda. Number 153 is Andrew Savage, also riding a CCM. And so as the rest of the riders start their last and final lap, it looks like it's going to be a win for number 7, Jimmy Aird on the Alan Clues CCM. But nevertheless, that almost concludes this part 2 video from the 2017 Nostalgia Scramble. I hope you've enjoyed all the racing highlights, and thanks once again for watching. This video was brought to you in association with World Sport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more details.